Inquiry now in the hands of the House Judiciary Committee. Day one featuring constitutional scholars defining high crimes and misdemeanors and whether the president's actions rise to that benchmark. The director of political studies at Cedarville University, Dr. Mark Allan, again joins us live with his analysis. Mark, let's start by asking you to kind of tell us where we are in the process at this point as we move from intelligence to judiciary, why this committee may or may not be different than what we've heard up to this point, and also why you think Judiciary Committee, the Democrats today, started on day one with a somewhat rather dry constitutional legal discussion.
I'll try not to take that personally since I teach constitutional law, Mark.
No offense meant.
Just giving you a hard time there. Now, the Judiciary Committee is a very different animal than the intelligence committees that we've been looking at before. Here is where the House would really expect the articles of impeachment to be drafted. And so they're setting the stage today with constitutional law experts to sort of weigh in and talk about what the Constitution means when it uses phrases like high crimes and misdemeanors and treason and bribery and other cases as well. So I think they're trying to put a context in place and give a justification maybe for the future articles of impeachment that surely a majority of the Democrats on that committee are willing to craft.
Mark, next let's go to the Intelligence Committee final report, which came out last night, all 300 pages of it. A lot of the focus is on the phone call records that we learned about for the first time in that report. For some reason, they never came up in the hearings. Phone calls involving people like Rudy Giuliani and even a Republican member of the Intelligence Committee, Devin Nunes of California.
Right. Yeah, I mean, those things did not come up during testimony at all. And it's still unclear where the Intelligence Committee exactly got those phone logs. We know they are provided by AT&T and Verizon. We don't know whether they are secured under subpoena or they are voluntarily turned over. We just don't know that. But it's new information, and it continues to add to this picture, I think, that Mr. Giuliani was into this entire Ukraine process from the get-go. The phone call logs make it clear that he was having regular contact with the White House, even as early as April, and especially surrounding the removal of Ambassador Yovanovitch, which was a major flashpoint in sort of the angst going on between Ukraine and the United States. And so I think the phone call logs are interesting. I think they add another layer to this, but I don't think it's the kind of information that's going to be enough to persuade, let's say, Trump supporters to all of a sudden favor impeachment.
Mark, finally, let me ask you about the political calculus at work here. I think this appears probably headed for the Senate where a trial will take place. The senators will sit as jurors in that trial, but of course we're thinking about, moving into next year, 2020, the actual election year itself. And four of the Democratic senators who will be jurors are also candidates for president. This could work against them, taking them off the campaign trail and forcing them to sit there in the Senate and act as a juror in a trial.
Yeah, it really could. I mean, if the timeline continues the way that it looks right now, we're looking at January potentially for hearings in the United States Senate. The Iowa caucuses are February 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, and that's a really rough time to be off the campaign trail for 2 or 3 weeks. You know, those Democrats who are running for the presidency would like to either expedite this or maybe punt this into later in the spring or the summer. But the House Democrats are in this really difficult position. They've been promising impeachment to their constituents for quite a long time, and they really feel like this is their only chance to really go forward at this moment. And so I think you're going to see some conflict, certainly, between the two chambers of Congress.
Yeah, a lot of House Democrats on the ballot in 2020 as well. Mark Allan, always appreciate your time live from Cedarville University. Thank you much.
Thank you.